is she, are we kind of just right up front telling, the audience exactly who this woman is? Or is she playful in that sense? Is she aware of kind of how she comes across?
One question.
Where are you from?
Can we skip that one?
One of my favorite things about this season is that there are characters who are essentially what the audience was in season one, because now we know that there are aliens that are walking among us at any given time, but now these characters don't in the way that we did it when we watched. For you, when you get to play a character like that, when the show itself is getting a little bit more sci-fi because it can, what is the fun balance of like getting to play into those elements while still being in the dark?
I loved that my character Charlotte doesn't really exist in the sci-fi aspect of this. She's still very much in the neo-noir world of the whole thing, in the film noir world. And I was getting a chance to, indulge all of my childhood fantasies of being Lauren Bacall for a few days, So I love being part of something that is telling a much bigger story, is playing with genres in that way. And yet my route through it is really quite a simple one. It's kind of makes it easier to make bolder choices in that sense. It's very clear, the story and the relationship that I'm a part of there. I mean, all of my scenes are with Colin. It's like it's a little standalone thing outside of the case he's working on, outside of the stuff that he's dealing with in terms of being not from this planet. And we have our own little bubble.
How is it when you're on a show, like his narration is so perfectly set for like a neo-noir, but it is also very interesting to think about it because it's like you're getting a lot of information that he's not saying out loud to people.
Yeah.
How is it then for you as an actor to either like sit in the read through and hear what that narration is, or see it in the final product and get to kind of experience that side of a scene when you're kind of part of it, but also that's completely removed from what you guys are filming?
I like to stay as removed as possible from that kind of stuff because I just have to concentrate on what Charlotte knows, what Charlotte wants, what her intentions are, what she feels in that moment, and the relationship between them. And so I don't think it would help in any way for me to kind of keep in mind. I mean, obviously I've got to be aware of the larger story that I'm a part of, because that does help you understand what you're, how you're serving that. But in terms of the minutiae of what will come later in the edit with Colin's voiceover and things like that, I think that that it might probably just get messy rather than just playing the very simple truth of what Charlotte is in that moment.
Yeah. When I also love that the first time we meet her, well, second time we meet her, but the first time she's like speaking, she says, like the spider's web. And I was like, oh, I know a lot about her right out the gate, because she was like, yeah, I'm like a spider. When you're reading something like that, how much does that kind of tell you about who that woman is when she compares herself to the spider and not just the children's book?
Well, what I like about that is it kind of it brings straight up front and center what we think about a woman in this genre. It's going right, femme fatale, and then let us play with that afterwards. Let us subvert your expectations after that. Let's see where that goes. Don't make any assumptions. So I love that, because it's like, is she, are we kind of just right up front telling the audience exactly who this woman is, or is she playful in that sense? Is she aware of kind of how she comes across at the beginning? So that's kind of all in the air. And for me, I just had to decide in my own head what that was.
Well, I love it. And for last quick thing, you come from doing a lot of stage work, and I love when you get to see like a theater actor do something like this, because you can see the mechanisms, or at least I can, of like the shift and how fascinating it is. How much fun is it to bring a character to life on TV where it is a lot smaller? It's not as like big as you have to be on stage, but still getting to have all those layers to them.
Oh, I mean, it's so fun. And whenever I started this job, I had just come off doing a play on Broadway for several months. And I was, you know, I was kind of completely immersed in that world and was exhausted. And, you know, this felt like just the most wonderful flip to be able to just indulge in something so beautiful and so subtle. And, you know, for me, the acting never really feels like it's different. I don't know. There's some instinct, obviously, in terms of how you kind of breathe out different, expand a little, but the acting has still got to just be rooted in truth. And, you know, the better the character's written, the more 3D they are. And Sam has written beautiful characters in this show, and there was lots to dig my teeth into there. It's kind of a lot of the same work. It's just it feels like the truth, and I don't really know how the difference is between like presenting it to the back row and presenting it just to the camera right at your face, but it often doesn't actually feel that different.
Hello. Have we met before?
I'm not sure.
I'm Charlotte.
Like the web.
Like the spider.